Hello everybody, and welcome to my Week 3 Teambuilder video against the Crustle eSportes Club and Enzo. He has a team of Zapdos, Superior, Empoleon, Donphan, Togetic, Hitmonchan, Glade Mega, Blacephalon, Haxorus, Excelgor, and Persian Alola. So the team we'll be bringing this week, actually real quickly I want to mention I did have to get a new mic unfortunately. And I've been told this one has worse quality than my previous one, so if that quality change is different and noticeable and worse, I'm sorry, but not much I can do about it. But anyways, the team we bring this week is Celesteela, Muckalola, Altaria Mega, Breloom, Mamoswine, and Archeops. So first up is my Celesteela. Celesteela is probably my primary win condition this game, once again. His team does not do a great job of dealing with it. His best answer is Zapdos, and with a Rocky MZ on it, Zapdos really is not an answer to Celesteela. If I try and set up to sweep, Empoleon and Donphan can both take hits, but neither of them can really do anything back to Celesteela, and neither of them have reliable recovery, and both should be whittled throughout the game. And after a boost, I should be able to kill pretty much everything else. So yeah. Also, Earthquake allows me to hit Empoleon fairly hard too. 84 speed, that gives me enough speed to outrun a max speed Superior no matter what. Not so much worried about Excelgor because it's really not too much of a threat to a Celesteela. Even if he has HP Fire, he's not going to do a lot of damage. But what is a big threat to Celesteela sweeping this game is a Scarf Blacephalon. In fact, that completely shuts down Celesteela's ability to sweep. So, to aid with that, I have Muckalola. This is my answer to Blacephalon, and if he brings Blacephalon out at any point, I will be able to trap and kill it, which will make my Celesteela able to sweep, assuming he is assuming that he is a assuming he is a Scarf variant, which is the only variant that really stops Celesteela, since after an Autotomize it's faster. So a Scarf variant can get blocked and shut down by Muckalola, which is nice. Pursuit, no matter what, 2-hit KOs it, and if he switches out, it OHKOs. No amount of attack investment changes the fact of, or changes those two calcs around really. So I didn't really bother with any attack investment. I just threw it all into Spit F really, just so I could take hits better. I have Poison Jab so that I can deal with a Superior, because it's probably also my best answer to Superior, especially because Superior has to use Hin Powered Ground if it wants to hit this, which isn't, in the first place, isn't going to do much, but also means that he's walled very hard by Celesteela, and essentially set up fodder for that, which is good. And Taunt is just so that I can deal with Subseed shenanigans. If he wants to have a Subseed Superior going on, I can taunt it and then prevent it from leeching me all the way down, and just recycle so I get the reliable recovery back. So yeah, that's the Muck. Mainly meant to deal with those two mons, but those two mons are two of his biggest threats, and it should be able to deal with both of them nicely. Next up is my Altaria Mega. This is my dedicated Mega Glade check, and even then, Mega Glade is very scary. This isn't a super solid check to it. +2 Poison Jab nearly kills this. If I can't Mega before I come in to check the Glade and take rocks, then the +2 Poison Jab will kill me. So I need to make sure I get my Mega off early, much like last week, so that I can check the Mega Glade better. Because if I'm unable to get my Mega off, and he does get rocks up, then this is no longer going to be an answer to Glade, and I'm going to be forced to sack. And that's not good. So I'm running Return to kill the Glade, because Glade has really good special defense. So Hyper Voices, it can actually take one, but it cannot take a Return. Earthquake just allows me to hit Empoleon, and yeah, pretty much just Empoleon, but that's really also his only Fairy resist, besides Blacephalon, but Blacephalon gets Earthquake too. It has no bulk at all. Protect is just to allow me to get off my Mega in scenarios where I'm threatened out. So yeah, it just gives me a better opportunities to get off my Mega if I need to, and Roost will be able to give me health back if I need it. This is probably also my best answer to Hitmonchan. Probably even Persian. It can check Donphan to some extent. It can do a lot for me this game, but primarily it's here for the Glade. Absolute max defense, so it can take those hits as good as possible. And even then, Poison Jab is a little risky. It never, if he doesn't have rocks up and I'm able to get my Mega off and I'm able to keep it full, then this will always check the Glade. But that +2 Poison Jab is scary, so I need to be very careful about that and letting this get whittled. I do have options to deal with it, but I don't want to have to revenge the Glade if I don't have to. Next up is my Breloom. It's Toxic Orb, Poison Heal, with Substitute Spore, Focus Punch, Rock Tomb. So this is able to come in against his Fat, really, which really the entirety of his Fat is Empoleon and Donphan, neither of which have reliable recovery, and neither of which really can hurt Breloom unless he gets a Scald Burn the turn I come in, which I'm going to try not to risk, but I may have to at some point, and that would really suck if it happens. But yeah, it's here to really deal with his Fat. Not necessarily just to deal with it, but to just completely wall break if it's able to get an opportunity to come in on his Fat. I'm able to set up a substitute on both Empoleon and Donphan to be faster than them, and if they want to switch out, then I can decide whether I want to Spore whatever comes in or not. If they decide to, if they're insistent on staying in, then I can just Spore them and then set up a substitute and then start wearing them down. But likely switching into the Breloom are going to be Zapdos. Yeah, pretty much Zapdos. That's the only thing. Maybe Togetic. And I have Rock Tomb specifically for the Zapdos, which allows me to hit it extremely hard. Unfortunately, since I'm not Technician, I can't kill the Zapdos in a single Rock Tomb. But what I can do is slow it down, and with this Eevee spread, I will slow down Zapdos so that I will outspeed a max Zapdos after a single Rock Tomb. Which means I will essentially 2-hit KO it, depending on its spread. If it's an offensive Zapdos, it will get 2-hit KO'd. If it's a defensive Zapdos and has leftovers, it won't 2-hit KO unless I have rocks up or prior chip. If it's defensive Zapdos with no leftovers, then I need, or max HP Zapdos, then it's like doing 50 max roll, so it's a chance, but likely not going to happen. But once I get subs up, Focus Punch, nothing really appreciates taking a Focus Punch. Yeah, there's really nothing. The only thing is that Glade actually walls the set, unfortunately. Since I can't fit a Grass move on, but even then, Breloom is so strong that a Glade is definitely not appreciating a Focus Punch. How much is it taken? Yeah, 50 to 59. And it, like, if I'm have a sub up, it has no choice. It has to take that, and that's beautiful damage. That means that my Revenge Killers, which I'll show, which are actually only 2 remaining, will have a fantastic time, or will have a much easier time dealing with the Glade. And Glade is the most dangerous thing. So if I'm able to chip the Glade, then make it easier for my Revenge Killers to take care of, then that's fantastic for me. So yeah, this excels on coming in on his Fat and really breaking his entire team and putting him in a bad scenario if I'm able to get in on his Fat. So yeah, next up is my Mamoswine. He is incredibly weak to Mamoswine. Weak to ice, weak to ice, weak to ground, weak to ice, weak to ice. Takes both hits neutrally and not well. Takes both hit neutrally and not well. Weak to ground, weak to ice. Doesn't take either well, doesn't take either well. So he's got a few that aren't weak to either stab, and then a shit ton who are weak primarily to ice. He has a ton of things that are weak to ice. In fact, there is not a single thing on his team that appreciates taking an Icicle Crash except for Empoleon, which is really nice for me because if he brings the Empoleon, that gives me a free switch to my Breloom, and I can start breaking immediately after, assuming I don't get Scald Burned. So, gotta not get Scald Burned. I may depending on whether I feel that I need my, what I value more, I may try and get a first turn Toxic Orb on Breloom. Or like, try and get it early on, say against, like if I lead with it, then I can guarantee I won't get burned if he leads with either of his fat members, but that starts to get a bit risky. But with these two, they form an incredible wall-breaking core where nothing wants to take Icicle Crashes, and the only thing that wants to take him, Breloom can come in on and start destroying his team from there. Since I'm choice banded, especially no one likes taking Icicle Crashes, and even Earthquakes, he has very limited switch-ins too. I have Rocks if I can get him up, and this is also my primary way to deal with Zapdos if Zapdos gets in. And Zapdos really can't do much to hurt a Mamoswine. I have to run a Hidden Power, and even then a Hidden Power isn't going to do it that much damage. I have Rocks, just if I'm ever in a scenario to get him up, but I don't really plan on getting up Rocks this game. Like, I'm not opposed to doing it, but it's not something I feel that I need to do in order to win the game. And Ice Shard is here just for revenging. It's especially important when he has a Haxorus on his team. He has a Gallade, which can get out of hand possibly, a Superior, which could get out of hand possibly. So Ice Shard is always a very nice tech, especially when it's an adamant choice band Ice Shard that's hitting like a truck. And yeah, its 2 stabs are extremely powerful this game. To round up the team, we have Archeops, which is here mainly for revenging. I was debating between Archeops and Greninja for this role. So Archeops essentially does the act of revenging much better than Greninja, but Archeops just has weaknesses that Greninja doesn't, although it fulfills the role better, and I decided to go with Archeops, hoping that it doesn't end up screwing me. But the big thing is that Greninja can't even 2-hit KO a Gallade, which is probably his most dangerous thing and the thing I most want to revenge. And although this speed ties Gallade, I need to keep it scarfed so that it can outrun Gallade no matter what. And yeah, I just absolutely need to outrun Gallade no matter what. I'm max speed so that even if I get knocked off, I can at the very minimum speed tie with Gallade. And so I've got Head Smash, which is, if I do need it, just a one-time nuke to take on pretty much anything, because like Archeops is strong as fuck and Head Smash is a strong fuck move. So like if Haxorus is getting out of hand, Head Smash is a roll to kill that, I'm pretty sure. I'll actually pull that up real quick, but it's like impressive. Typing with one hand because I'm lazy. Yeah, Head Smash, 80% chance to Oko Haxorus. Crazy. Aerial Ace is my primary move to deal with Gallade. Since I have to be Choice Scarf, I can't have Acrobatics, and so like Aerial Ace is just my next best thing. It's doing like 70-ish to Gallade, which is solid. Means that no matter what, I can Ice Shard into Aerial Ace to take care of Gallade. That's why I was saying that Breloom is fantastic if I'm able to focus punch it, because although I'm walled by it, that means that Archeops can guaranteed take it out, which is really nice. I've got Rock Slide in case I need to not kill myself to use a rock move, such as against Blacephalon. Because like, although Head Smash is great, I don't want to kill myself, especially with an Archeops, if I don't need to, because going into Defeatist is really bad. Head Smash is really nice because even if you go into Defeatist, you can still do a shit ton of damage. Aqua Tail is a good mid-ground to click sometimes if I feel that he could be going to Donphan, so I can get some major damage off on the Donphan if I'm ever in a scenario where I need to make that prediction. But this is mainly here to make sure Scarf Blacephalon doesn't win, because Scarf Blacephalon, if it starts getting Beast Boosts up, very dangerous. I can come in and Rock Slide it, and it's gone, which is really nice. To deal with the Gallade and Revenge if I need to, and deal with the Haxorus. He's got 3 really scary setup sweepers who can get out of hand, and 2 of them, it can deal with mostly all of them okay. Problem is, if he gets up Rocks, then I can get into Defeatist after 2 switch-ins. So I can really only have 2 chances to revenge if he gets up Stealth Rock, which, like, you don't need to revenge all that often, but I need to be very careful about that. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to... if I go into Defeatist, I could be in a really bad scenario, so I do need to be very careful with how I use this. But in terms of the act of revenging, it does it fantastically. That's the reason I was thinking about using Greninja, but the thing is Greninja just can't deal with that Gallade. But this can. So that's really just the defining factor. Make absolute sure to have EV's not divisible by 4, so that I can be absolute sure I only take rocks twice, or I can take rocks twice without going into defeatist. Is it under half or half? This Pokemon is 1/2 or less. Okay, yeah. So I was right. I can't hit half, so I definitely need an odd number. So yeah, that's the team. I feel pretty confident about it this week, and hopefully he's able to get the win.